This is the plaintiff, Jeff Gaillard. He says the defendant's off-leash beast of a dog attacked his dog, biting him several times. There was blood all over the place. There are laws about this kind of thing, and the defendant broke them all. She owes him $1,123.20 for his vet bills. Exactly what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Amy Espinosa. She says the plaintiff claims he saw her take her dog off his leash, and if that's indeed true, why did he approach her and her dog with his big pit bull? When her dog saw his dog, he went over to play, and the plaintiff let go of his dog so they could play together. Now the guy's trying to gouge her with an inflated bill for a little doggy time? Shame on him. She is accused of not being too playful.
All parties, please use your right hand. You see it, come forward. Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Jeff Gaillard, you're suing Amy Espinosa for your vet bills because according to you, the damages to your dog were her dog's fault. Her dog attacked your dog. Tell me what happened.
On June 16th of this year, I was walking my dog in a public park. And I happened to...
public, but not a dog park, though?
No.
Okay.
Public park.
Okay.
I was walking my dog, and...
what kind of dog?
It's a mixed breed, Labrador Pit Bull.
Okay.
So I was walking the dog, and I just saw a person in the park, which is the defendant. Didn't think anything of it. She had her dog on the leash.
So your dog's on your leash, and her dog...
was on his leash,
okay.
Yes. So I didn't think anything of it. So I just walked, kept walking my dog.
Were the dogs barking at each other or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
And then I looked over, and I noticed she was taking her dog off the leash. And then as soon as she did that, her dog bolted straight towards my dog. And I said, hey, she started calling her dog's name. Her dog came over to my dog, and he just started biting him. And so I tried to stop it by, getting in between the two dogs. And she goes, oh, they're just playing. I said, no, they're not. And then
Had the bite already happened?
Yes, but it was kind of almost dark. So it was very, very difficult to see. She wasn't close to me. She was further than you are from me now.
Okay.
But I was telling her this, and I was yelling and screaming, like, come get your dog. So she finally came over and secured the leash on her dog. And she walked back, and we had a conversation.
Okay, and what was the conversation?
Basically, I said, my dog has blood on him here, he's hurt or whatever. And she was saying that first she said she was sorry. She goes, he never did this before. I always let him come out here and run around. I said, but this is a public park. You're supposed to have the dog on a leash.
Not everybody loves your dog,
So,
like, I don't want to be walking around all of a sudden have a dog.
And I was upset. She was upset too. And then I told her I was sorry because I had raised my voice, and she apologized to me. And then I told her, I said, well, my dog is bleeding here. Come look. She goes, well, I don't want to come back over here because my dog doesn't like male dogs. And I said, well, why would you have your dog out here if you know he doesn't like male dogs? She goes, well, this is the only place I can let him loose and run around.
There's no place you can let him loose to run around. There's your own house, if you have a house, and if you have a fence. That's the one.
She said, I've never had this problem before. He's not a vicious dog. And I said, well.
What kind of dog do you have?
American Bulldog.
Okay. And what happened?
Like you said, I took my dog to the park. I take him there every day. Usually we walk, and I bring him to the park. I let him off the leash because I always let him run when I get off of work because he's in the house for 12 hours.
I know the dog wants to run, my dear. It's not that I don't understand that. It's that you don't have the privilege of letting your dog loose on America. Like, in other words, we have leash laws for a reason.
I understand.
This is the reason. You see, so for the safety of other people, just because your dog wants to stretch his legs doesn't mean you get to have your dog off. You understand there's a leash law, right?
Yes, I do.
And you understand there are places where you can take your dog to do that, but I guess they're a little farther for you, so they're not as convenient as this park where he was with his dog. How long have you had this dog?
Since he was 9 weeks old.
And how old is the dog now?
6.
Is this the first time this happens, or has this happened
He's never
before?
been a person
Has
or a
animal
dog.
control ever been called on your dog?
No.
You didn't end up calling animal control in this situation either,
The
right?
police did.
The police did. How did the police get called?
Well, because after the incident, I was concerned because my dog never, he was in shock. He just didn't make any noise. He was just standing there bleeding. So I was saying to her, what am I supposed to do? I want to call police. She goes, you don't have to get the police involved. She says, I'll give you my information. Just send me, put the vet bill in my mailbox. So I was freaking out because of my dog, obviously. So I walked back towards my car and I called the police, and they said, "Well, we'll be right over." And they said, "Well, where do you live?" I gave my address, and they told me to they'll wait for me they'd meet me at my house. And so when I got there, they took the pictures that you see there of the lacerations and punctures to the dog. So those are before he went to the...
That's before he went to the vet?
Yeah.
And then what did the vet do?
Oh, they stitched him up, but they shaved him so you could see the wounds more clearly because of his coat. So that's him at the house. The police came, took pictures.
He looks pretty pit bull to me. What's the mix?
I said
look at that.
Labrador
It's
pit
three
bull
different...
mix. Right.
Wow.
And so he was taken to the 24-hour vet.
The dog's fine, right?
Yeah, he is now. But see that? So we're here now because the defendant, once animal control basically found where she lived at, they gave her a citation.
Well, didn't she give you her address?
The information she gave me is the police went there, they couldn't find her.
Why not? Does she end up living at the place she told you?
No.
So you gave a false address?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, all I can tell you is the police asked me what they asked me. They asked me about what happened. I told them that same night they went to the information that I was given. They could not find her. They canvassed the area, and they told me.
How would you find her? How did you
Well,
find
what happened was they started talking to neighbors, and the type of dog she has is a unique dog. It's
What kind of dog is it?
American Bulldog.
And
Can I see? Do you have a picture of your dog?
Yes.
And so, it's a big dog. It's bigger than my dog. And it's not one of those little...
The police actually went door to door canvassing over...
They went in the general area, and animal control eventually found her.
It's a beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Did your dog get injured?
No.
Okay. So animal control catches up to you, or the police somebody catches up. So,
They work for the police department. They're like a division.
right. So, and what address did you give him?
I gave him my address, Ward D.
And that's the address you gave the police, or where'd you serve her? Did you serve her at that address?
No, the address she just gave me, the first address, that's not what be that as it may.
No, I'm exploring this because it makes a difference if somebody gives you, if they try to, I don't want an implication hanging there that she didn't give you her real address if she did. So as it turns out, it's just the police couldn't find it and went through Herculean efforts where your service processor ended up serving her exactly the address that she gave.
What happened was that the defendant did not want to stay when I said I was going to call the police. Had that happened, I would have known where she lived, and I would have known other information.
All right, so in any event, here, it ended up costing him, let me see the vet bills. It ends up costing him $1,123.20 in vet bills. That night, did you tell him, I'll pay the vet bills, I'm sorry? Like, what were you saying that night?
When it happened, I pulled my dog away from his dog. He didn't break them up. I broke them up. And I walked away, going towards the light because it was dark, like he said. And he said, my dog bit his dog's ear. I said, my dog bit your dog's ear? He said, yes, come and look at my dog's ear. So I said, I can't because I have my dog. I can't approach you with my dog. Right. So I didn't look at his ear. I said, put the bill in my mailbox. And I did tell him that.
Okay, but then why didn't you pay it? Why am I here? What's your defense?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, can somebody who goes to a public park where there are dogs all around release the dog? Man, if there's a problem and that dog attacks another dog, they're still scot-free.
I think it depends on the dog. If it's like a big dog, a Rottweiler, different story. If it's a Shih Tzu, who cares?
So basically, really? That's the way you would judge it?
Yeah.
What about a lab?
Depends.
No, see, that's the problem with doing it that way.
I just don't think you should release any dog at the park because I feel like you shouldn't pick one dog and say they're going to be a good dog because they could be.
Okay, so do you say no dogs can be off leash?
Yes.
Okay, one more. Who's going to be the tiebreaker?
I think that no dog should be released. I think it should be like, I'm sorry.
No, I think you actually nailed it. Going inside the courtroom.
Now there's 5-6 bites, and the dogs were together like a minute. And every time he's in contact with me, it's
what
more
do you
inflated.
think happened? You think another dog also bit his dog?
I don't know what happened.
And then he knows that, but he's lying about it instead of wanting, to have that dog. I mean, went straight. How long did it take you to go to the vet?
After I talked to the police, I went straight to the vet.
Right there. So what other dog bite? Dogs have a coat and the coat covers the puncture wounds, but then when the doctor looks real close and shaves it, then you see all of them. What are you suggesting?
I wasn't suggesting anything.
You know what? You're not the kind of person who should let the dog off leash. Because if you can't afford to pay the vet bills associated with this, then you shouldn't be letting your dog off leash. First of all, honey, put the papers down.
I'm sorry.
All right.
This is critical.
Okay, critical. Hold on to it. Don't.
All right.
If you're the kind of person who says, "Oh, I'll pay it if I like it. If I don't like it," you can't let that dog off leash. One, because you're violating the leash laws. But two, now you're well aware that your American bulldog doesn't like male dogs. Well, where's that come from? It doesn't like male dogs. That's half the dogs you're going to see in the park.
That's not
but what if your dog, you let your dog loose, and I don't like dogs, and all of a sudden I got to have your dog sniffing me? Like, you have no consideration for your fellow man. What was it you wanted me to see that was so critical?
Well, what I think is critical is that the defendant, the last communication I had with her in her email, she had requested all of the vet information, and she also requested pictures, which I submitted to her, okay? And she says, I don't know if you have a copy of this.
Let me see.
You read her email, she's decided what she didn't say she wasn't going to pay. She just decided what she felt was fair.
I've made a decision. I have received your information and pictures, and I have made a decision to pay you $500 of your dog's medical bill. I came to this conclusion. Did you write this?
Yes, I did.
I came to this conclusion because, one, you accused me of purposely releasing my dog to intentionally attack your dog, which I did not. As I told you that night, I used to bring my dog to that park every night to run and never encountered you or anyone else. You think this is your personal property, the park? Two, your dog received a rabies shot on the night in question when he should have had them already, and his rabies shots are your responsibility, and he was hold on one second. Rabies shots are your responsibility. I presume the dog got a rabies shot because you don't know of her dog, because she wouldn't stick around to get asked questions, so you didn't know, your vet didn't know if her dog had its rabies shot. And he was sedated for the safety of the vet workers, for fear that he may have aggressive behaviors. He got stitches, right, the dog?
Yes, he did.
Like I have yet to meet the vet who stitches a dog without anesthesia. Maybe your dog, maybe you let your dog get sick. You won't even let your dog be on a leash because you want him so happy. 3, I was fined $75 for my dog being a nuisance to your dog, which he was not. No, I'm sure it was a very pleasant encounter for your dog. If you do not agree with the amount you are asking, I am sorry, but that is all I'm going to agree to pay. That night was an accident that happened between 2 dogs. My dog is very gentle. It is unfortunate what happened to your dog, but dogs do fight for whatever reason. Yeah, see, dogs do fight. So we don't fault the dogs. We fault the owner who is irresponsible. So this is why I kept it, like, is it a pit bull? It looks like a pit bull to me. You had said it was a pit bull. It's a pit bull lab mix. But I've never had a pit bull be the victim. So I was kind of holding on to that feeling, And you've got a dog that you let off the leash because, hey, your world, right? The rest of us are just living in it. And the dog creates, and you have the unmitigated gall to suggest that you're not going to pay for anesthesia because the vet should have stitched the dog up and just had the dog continue to suffer with each needle that he pulled in and pulled it tight. And are you nuts? Put your hand down. You don't need to say another word. Are you out of your mind? Verdict for the plaintiff in the full amount, $1,123.20, plus, of course, your court costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff prevails for the full amount. Ms. Espinoza, this was not a very good day for you in court. The judge called you nuts.
Yeah, that's her opinion. Yeah, that's her opinion.
You don't agree with that at all?
Why would I agree with her calling me nuts?
Well, because maybe you are. I don't know.
Maybe I am.
Okay. Sorry about that. You got to pay the full amount, okay? Here comes Mr. Guy. You walk your dog in this neighborhood. Obviously, you've done it before, or was that the first time you've been in that park?
Probably the 3rd time.
3rd time, okay. Well, and she still lives there, right?
I don't go there anymore.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Smart move on your behalf. Sorry what you went through. I know it must have been pretty traumatic for you at the time. But congratulations. You satisfied with the judgment?
Yes, I am. I think the judge was fair and honest.
Good.
Thank you for your time.
And how's your dog?
He's doing much better.
That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Harvey, amazing case, huh?
Doug, you know what? She is now on notice that her dog has the propensity for attacking, and if she does it again and the dog does attack, she's opening herself up to punitive damages.